Carefully that you know We've recently renewed the Individual Partnership Action Plan between NATO and Serbia. Under that program, we will be looking at more than 200 activities that NATO and Serbia will do together. All of these activities are in full respect of Serbia's military neutrality. But the reason that we engage in these activities, the reason we work on these goals is that we're neighbors. And when neighbors work together, and neighbors have shared security concerns and they work together on them, all of us are safer. All of us are more prosperous. And so NATO highly values the relationship that it has with Serbia. Serbia is a long-standing partner. We work with Serbia to build up the capacity and the capability of the Serbian armed forces so that Serbia and its people are safer. We work with Serbia in the regional context on things like preparation for disaster management and earthquake disasters, so that all of us can work together when these types of disasters happen. And we work with Serbia on the international stage, so that Serbian forces can contribute to international peacekeeping operations. Serbia has in the past actually contributed to the training of army medics in Iraq. And NATO highly values these contributions that Serbia is making to not just NATO activities, but also the European Union and the United Nations. So it's a great pleasure to be here, and we look forward to the mandate of the Dutch Contact Point Embassy in representing NATO in the public space this year, and in helping us to get out the message that NATO and Serbia cooperate together on a lot of things. We have a very strong relationship. And we look forward to much more in the years to come. Thank you very much.
Activities on NATO in Serbia through the last year, the Norwegian Embassy will, for the coming years, act as a supporting partner to our close friends and allies at the Embassy of the Netherlands. I believe it's important to remember that NATO is an organization where all dimensions matters. Therefore, any contribution to any part of its activity should be considered as vital in achieving NATO's overall objectives. On this note, I will start to express my gratitude and appreciation to our excellent partners who have gone the extra mile in our important work through the last year. And first of all, I would like to commend the NATO Military Liaison Office here in Belgrade. We have worked closely and proactively throughout the whole period of our assignment, and your cooperation has been extraordinarily valuable. A big thank also to the NGOs and civil society for having participated creatively and enthusiastically. In that regard, especially a warm thanks to Jelena Milic of the Center for Euro-Atlantic Studies for her boundless energy and supporting role. And his team at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, you have always been well prepared. Partner or close to this embassy for the coming year. And I believe it is important to remember that NATO is an organization which all dimensions matters, and therefore any kind of contribution is, or any kind of activity should be considered as vital in achieving the overarching goal. I have to start by expressing my gratitude to a lot of partners and collaborators. And I will first say that I would really commend the NATO military liaison officer in Belgrade. We have worked so closely and productively through the whole period of this assignment, and your cooperation has been extraordinarily valuable. But I also would like to extend a big thanks to the NGOs and civil society for having participated very creatively and enthusiastically with us. I would like also to express appreciation to all the embassies, of course, of the member countries of the NATO alliance. Thank you for allowing us to coordinate you all and to represent our common interests here in Serbia. And likewise, I would take the opportunity to express my gratitude to the Serbian authorities who have been cooperative and forthcoming during this very period. Of this flag, we wish you all the best for the coming year, and we will continue.
Been a very accessible and effective contact point embassy in 2019, and it will be very difficult to match that. At the start of our mandate as NATO contact point embassy in 2020, we realized that there are many areas where the interests, possibilities and capacities of both Serbia and NATO meet. The basic principle is, of course, Serbia's position of military neutrality. This position dates back to 2007 and has been elaborated in the new strategic policy paper adopted in December. These papers show that Serbia's concept of military neutrality doesn't mean isolation. On the contrary, it entails a balanced international security agenda that includes cooperation with a number of security actors, among which NATO and the EU. I very much welcome this cooperation, since it shows that we share the same values that we are prepared to defend. It includes a readiness to contribute to international peace and security as well. This is an area where Serbia has proven its capabilities. Serbia is a welcome and much appreciated contributor to joint peacekeeping missions. I would like to pay respect to the Serbian forces that participate in these missions and to salute their political leaders for this policy. Here, the second individual partnership action plan will guide us for the periods 2019-2021 and thus the coming year. Our joint efforts will also aim at contributing to the stability of the Western Balkans and the security of all peoples in the region. It is my sincere hope that this will have a positive effect on prevailing discourse on NATO as well among the citizens of Serbia.
And we appreciate that allies are in fact eager to be on this road. Because communicating about NATO and engaging in discussions about NATO, policies and activities plays a vital role in our partnerships. Across the Western Balkans, NATO has just one overriding objective: to help build peace and stability, which are the foundations of our shared prosperity. Whether a partner wishes to become closer to the alliance, or, like Serbia, is militarily neutral, NATO is ready to engage in dialogue and in practical cooperation. And NATO is a strong partnership, has a strong partnership with Serbia, a partnership that is based on the understanding that we are neighbors and that we face we share common interests and security concerns. We've done a lot together with Serbia. I thank the ambassadors for actually listing a number of those important areas of cooperation. We've practiced responding to our disasters. We've strengthened the capacities of the Serbian armed forces.
Ovom prilikom želim da posebno izrazim zahvalnost generalu Čedoru Varimeri, čiji je mandat šefa NATO vojne kancelarije okručja. Njegovo svestrano angažovanje i saradnje koje smo zvali sa njim, njegovim timom iz kancelarije, u protekle 4 godine dali su visok doprinos našem zajedničkom cilju. Partnerski odnosi sa NATO su definisani jasnim premisama. Partnerska saradnja na osnovama politike vojne neutralnosti Srbije, bez nastojanja Srbije za članstvo u alijansi, ali istovremeno otvorenost da unapređuje politički dijalog i praktičnu saradnju sa NATO u svim oblastima od zajedničkog interesa. Unapređenju saradnje značajno doprinosi na najvišem nivou između predsjednika Vučića i generalnog sekretara NATO Stoltenberga, ali niz kontakata na različitim političkim nivoima. U prethodnoj godini usvojili smo novi ciklus individualnog akcionarnog plana partnerstva između Srbije i NATO za period 2019-2021. godina, koji je nastavak prvog ciklusa IPAP-a koji se uspešno primenjen, a mnoge aktivnosti našli su mesto i u novom dokumentu, imajući u vidu njihov dugogodišnji karakter i važnost za sprovođenje reforme. Time je još jednom potvrđen uzlazni trend u odnosima, visoki stepen intenziteta naše partnerske saradnje posvećenog zajedničkim ciljevima.